Cyber attacks are on the rise, with hackers constantly seeking vulnerabilities to exploit, whether it's personal information, financial data, or critical infrastructure. No one is immune to the threats of the digital age. That's where cybersecurity comes in. Grace Self IT Solutions can help you develop a career in cybersecurity, earning six figures without necessarily having any technical background. Join us as we journey through this path together on our YouTube channel, Grace Self IT Solutions. For more information, contact +1571 365 1251.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Eric Obin from Grace Self IT Solutions. If today is your first time on this channel, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us grow and also to be notified anytime we drop any new video. Now, we want to continue with our studies on how to pass the Cgrc exams, formerly known as the CAP exams. In our previous videos, we spoke about the fact that in order to pass the Cgrc exams, you have to know the RMF steps. So in our previous videos, we looked at the preparation step, we looked at the categorization step, we looked at the select step, we also looked at the implement step, and we are now on the assessment or the assess step. We also spoke about the fact that under the assessment step, we have 6 tasks. So we've also looked at the assessor selection, the assessment plan, control assessment, assessment report, and today we want to look at the remediation actions under the assessment step. So again, we have 6 tasks under the assessment step. So let's get into it. Now, again, you want to know the purpose of the assessment. Why must we do the assessment? It's very important. And we said that the purpose of the assess step is to determine if the controls selected for implementation are implemented correctly, operating as intended, and producing the desired outcome with respect to meeting the security and privacy requirements for that system and the organization. We've already looked at that. So you can catch the explanation on that in our previous videos. Then again, you must know the publications involved as well as the SDLC. So the publications is the NIST SP 837 revision 2, as well as the 53A revision 5. So in order not to forget, 53A, A is for assessment. Then the SDLC is development, acquisition, implementation assessment. That is also must know, and you have to make sure that you know this in order to pass the exams. Now, let's get into the task 5, which is the remediation actions. Also, you have to know the primary responsibility so far as this remediation actions is concerned. So with that, we have the system owner, we have the common control provider, then we have the control assessor. So the control assessor, system owner, and the common control provider. So these 3 responsibilities or the holder is very important. So don't forget, the stakeholders here are the system owner, the common control provider, and the control assessor. Now, what does it mean? Remediation actions. So let's look at it. The Security and Privacy Assessment Report describes deficiencies in the controls that could not be resolved during the development of the system or that are discovered post-development. The authorizing official, in consultation and coordination with the system owners and other organizational officials, may decide that certain findings represent significant unacceptable risks and require immediate remediation actions. Additionally, it may be possible and practical to conduct initial remediation actions for assessment findings that can be quickly and easily remediated with existing resources. What does this mean? This simply means that when the control assessor goes out to do the assessment, the control assessor puts together the assessment report. Then that is given to the system owner or the common control provider together with the authorizing official. Now, the authorizing official now has the sole responsibility to either accept the risks or deny it. So, which means that after that is done, if it is find out that some of the controls fails or does not produce or does not meet the requirements or does not fall under the purpose for which the assessment is being done, then those assessment, if it is considered as a high risk to the system, then the system, the authorizing official will immediately require that that security control is fixed or that vulnerability detected in the information system needs to be fixed immediately. So that's what it means. So for example, if the assessor goes out to assess it and realize that this control might cause a threat or it is of a high risk to the system, then it is reasonable to take care of it. We don't wait and say that let me finish and let me monitor it to that stage. No, you have to immediately. So that responsibility now dawns on the system owner or the common control provider to fix that control. So when that is fixed, then the control assessor will go back again and go and reassess it to make sure that it meets the requirements of what it is intended to produce. So that's all that remediation action means. The control assessor goes to assess the controls. If they fail, they notify the system owner and then the common control provider. They fix it. The control assessor goes back again and reassess it. That's what all that is about. Now, if initial remediation actions are taken, assessors reassess the controls. The control reassessment determines the extent to which remediated controls are implemented correctly, operating as intended, and producing the desired outcome with respect to meeting the security and privacy requirements for the system and the organization. That's exactly what I explained. Now let's continue. The assessors update the assessment reports with the findings from the reassessment, but do not change the original assessment results. This is very key. The security and privacy plans are updated based on the findings of the control assessment and any remediation actions taken. What does this also mean? When the reassessment is done, the assessor would have to update the assessment reports with the findings, but do not make any changes to the original results. So in that case, what is going to happen? Because you don't have to make changes to what has been done previously. The first assessment report, you keep it. Now, when the reassessment is done, you also have to document and update the SSP. But the updated one is created or put together in what we call addendum, or as what we call the addendum, and also attached it to the initial assessment report. So addendum means to add something to something which is original. Again, you don't make changes to the initial assessment results. This is very, very important, and please take note of it. Now, as we said, the updated plans, that's the SSP, reflect the state of the controls after the initial assessment and any modifications by the system owner or common control provider in addressing recommendations for corrective actions. Organizations can prepare an addendum to the security and privacy assessment report that provides an opportunity for system owners and common control providers to respond to initial assessment findings. The addendum may include, and let's pay attention to this area, the addendum may include, for example, information regarding initial remediation actions taken by the system owners or common control providers in response to the assessor's findings. The addendum can also provide the system owner or common control provider perspective on the findings. This may include providing additional explanatory material, rebutting certain findings, and correcting the record. The addendum does not change or influence the initial assessor's findings provided in the reports. System owners and common control providers may decide based on a system organizational risk assessment that certain findings are inconsequential and present no significant security or privacy risks. Such findings are retained in the security and privacy assessment report and monitored during the monitoring step. What does this mean? Again, when the control assessor is done with assessment, so even though there could be some controls that might have minor, say minor risks or low risks to the system, yeah, they don't necessarily have to, go ahead and fix it immediately. Don't forget, resources are also involved. It involves money. So if at that moment, looking at the resources that needs to be spent in fixing that, if they don't have that resources to fix everything at the go, yeah, you can. If it's not of a much threat to the system, you can just keep an eye on it, and just keep on monitoring that in the monitoring step. That's what that means. But the controls that are of a higher risk to the system, where hackers can easily hack into the system and get access to data and all that information, then it is recommended, which is of very importance to the organization, to fix it immediately. So in most cases, when the control assessor goes out to do an assessment and they realize that even if there's an issue, they don't have to wait till they embark on assessing all the controls. Just imagine an information system which is of a high risk may have so many controls. So it is advisable that the assessor report this immediately, so that that can even be fixed before even finishing the rest of the controls during assessment. This is very, very key. So basically, or summary, if you want to put this together, all that we are trying to say is that remediation actions are the actions that are taken immediately when we detect that certain controls are of a higher risk, to the system. You just do that. Then once that is taken, the control assessor goes back again to reassess it to make sure that it meets the standards, it meets the requirement so far as the security posture of the system is concerned. So when the assessor goes back, take and reassess it, and it's okay, they just have to just check it that is done. Again, the key point here is that it doesn't affect or change the initial assessment report that is being done, or that has been done. So what do we have to do now? The reassessment, now we put it together in the form of addendum, and we just include that as part of the reports. Wow, I hope this really helps. So finally, whatever actions that are put together in addressing these weaknesses found during the control assessment is called POAM. That is Plan of Actions and Milestones. What does it mean? It means any actions that are taken to address the controls that failed during the assessment is called the POAM, which is the sixth task in the assessment step. And we will look into that in more details in the next video. I hope this really helps. Again, I'm your tutor, Eric Obeng. Meet you again in the next video. Bye for now. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and share. Bye.
Cyber attacks are on the rise, with hackers constantly seeking vulnerabilities to exploit, whether it's personal information, financial data, or critical infrastructure. No one is immune to the threats of the digital age. That's where cybersecurity comes in. Grace Self IT Solutions can help you develop a career in cybersecurity and in six figures without necessarily having any technical background. Join us as we journey through this path together on our YouTube channel, Grace Self IT Solutions. For more information, contact +1571 365 1251.